Amanda Waller, the cold-hearted director of Argus, has a brilliant plan to send a team of dangerous criminals to a world filled with magic and monsters. Featuring the chaotic Harley Quinn, shape-shifting Clayface, sharpshooter Deadshot, overly patriotic Peacemaker, and the lovable yet dim King Shark, and there's Rick Flag, the poor Argus agent stuck with this wild bunch. If they don't finish their mission or even think about running, those charming bonds Waller implanted will go boom. No pressure at all, and what could possibly go wrong? After a portal to another world opened, the government dispatched supervillains for exploration. The chaos kicks off with Harley Quinn and the Joker robbing a bank. As the police swarm in, their escape plan backfires when the place explodes. Meanwhile, Agent Amanda Waller ignores warnings about the portal's instability, using a girl as an energy source for her experiments. While Harley and the Joker evade capture, Harley unleashes a bazooka and throws bombs to fend off the encroaching police, dreaming of their new life. As they navigate the chaos, Harley ducks into a bar, only to find it's a trap. She fights off armed thugs and warns the Joker to stay out. Meanwhile, Amanda pushes her experiment, causing the girl to writhe in agony. Harley escapes just as the Joker distracts their attackers by crashing his car. On a rooftop, Harley encounters Katana, a fierce samurai. After a brief struggle, Katana knocks her out. When Harley regains consciousness, she learns the Joker has escaped. Determined to find him, she witnesses Amanda's experiment explode. 6 months later, Amanda visits a base to recruit superhuman candidates. Despite warnings about the villains, she intimidates Director Wade into cooperating. Harley, still locked up, kicks Wade when he offers her a job, insisting only the Joker gets that privilege. Handcuffed beside a fellow inmate, she discovers he's on a mission. The team receives a briefing from Amanda, who threatens them with explosive collars and instructs them to follow Adam, their leader. Amid alarms, Adam discovers the pilots are dead, leading to a helicopter crash witnessed by a knight named Cecil. In the wreckage, Harley wakes to find Adam dead but the others alive. Using the sword, she frees herself, and Deadshot saves her from falling. They escape into a fantastical realm filled with magic and creatures. Mr. Sackhead claims to be on a peace mission but knows nothing. When surrounded by orcs, Deadshot jokes about being on a movie set, provoking a fight. Eager for action, Harley joins King Shark, who rampages through the orcs. Mr. Sackhead reveals himself as the Peacemaker, while Deadshot retrieves his gear and kills the orc leader, forcing a retreat. As the dust settles, Deadshot marvels at Cecil's sword skills and questions whether they were summoned as heroes. Clayface speculates they've ended up in a dungeon instead. A royal carriage rolled through a starving village, the queen ignoring the desperate cries while soldiers shoved the villagers back. Nobles cheered the queen's victory over the orcs, but Cecil couldn't stay silent, pointing out that thousands were starving. They brushed him off, and the queen cut him off, declaring that victory wasn't guaranteed until every last orc was gone. When Cecil suggested calling Harley's squad, she dismissed that too, insisting he focus on the next battle. Later, Fiona watched kids fighting over scraps of bread but wouldn't eat. Cecil urged her to take something, but she had other plans. Meanwhile, Harley was giving the cops hell during interrogation, leading to some serious torture. Just then, an explosion heralded the Joker's rescue. But it was all a dream. Waking up, she found Deadshot and Clayface, who believed they deserved better after helping win the battle, rumbling about the god who sent them. Deadshot thought Peacemaker was off his rocker, but Peacemaker brought up their real issue. They had 60 hours left before the bombs in their necks went boom. Clayface decided to bail on the group, slipping through the bars and shocking Harley and Deadshot. Just then, a guard arrived with magical handcuffs, restricting Peacemaker's powers. Lunchtime brought more trouble when augurs demanded they leave the table. Deadshot sensed a brawl brewing, but Clayface urged calm, missing King Shark, who was still recovering from his orc feast. When the augurs punched Clayface, Deadshot flipped the table and chaos erupted. Harley took out the augur leader while Peacemaker tackled the others, but the guards quickly pinned them with magic and tossed them into a disciplinary cell. Inside, they met Rick Flag, an ARGUS agent who revealed they weren't the first team sent to this unknown world for its resources. Deadshot realized Amanda had sent them on a suicide mission. Peacemaker insisted they needed to reset the bomb transmitter near the portal. Rick offered to lead them back if they helped him escape. Just then, King Shark woke up, craving food. He smashed down the door, drawing the guard's ire. While Deadshot held off the guard, Harley snatched the magic wand and sent him flying. Clayface broke free from his cuffs and decided to unleash chaos by freeing other monsters, his powers amplified in the pandemonium. Together, they overwhelmed the guards and seized control of the prison. Meanwhile, Cecil headed to the prison, remembering Fiona's faith in Harley's squad to end the war. Shocked by the takeover, he watched prisoners celebrating on the roof, realizing the squad was teaming up with the monsters. Rick arrives at the gate, confronted by a squad that fails to understand him. They recognize him as the man who imprisoned them, mocking his appearance. In a fit of anger, he throws his sword at Harley, but it gets eaten by King Shark. Cecil uses his magic bracelet to retrieve the sword from King Shark's stomach, but his wounds heal, leading everyone to prepare for a fight. Rick tries to de-escalate the situation, revealing he has learned the local language in prison, but his use of orc phrases offends Cecil, escalating tensions. At the castle, the Queen casts a spell to facilitate communication. Rick explains his urgent request for freedom, offering valuable war intelligence about new commanders leading beasts from another world. The Queen is furious about Rick's inability to manage his team, taking him hostage and threatening his life if they fail. Before being taken, Rick warns the squad about the portal's location, urging them not to abandon him. As the kingdom's forces clash with the Empire, the squad debates their involvement, with Cecil believing the kingdom will win. Deadshot expresses reluctance to fight, recalling his past friendship with the commander of the beasts, while Harley suspects brainwashing. They infiltrate the fortress with Clayface creating an opening, but Deadshot doubts their plan due to Clayface's moisture issues. They fight guards until they reach the roof, where they encounter Ratcatcher, who commands the beasts. In a flashback, Deadshot remembers trying to help Ratcatcher in prison, but his efforts only traumatized him. Now, Ratcatcher unleashes his beasts against Deadshot. Clayface spots water tanks, and Deadshot shoots them, flooding the roof. With the added moisture, Clayface manipulates the fortress walls, causing chaos. Peacemaker shoots at Ratcatcher, but Katana intervenes. The fortress ultimately collapses, leading to tension among the squad as they navigate their chaotic victory, while the Queen celebrates her strategic success. As the Joker observed from a distance, he plotted to hunt down gang members, likening them to pesky rats. Suddenly, Harley jolted awake from a dream, feeling frustrated to find herself imprisoned. Deadshot reassured her they hadn't done anything wrong, although he admitted their destruction of the fortress might have been excessive. Peacemaker reminded the group they had only 12 hours left before their bombs would detonate. When Fiona approached, Deadshot inquired about their release, but she was unsure. Harley grew irritated by Fiona's presence, noting how she reminded her of her former self, which baffled the others. Cecil then arrived with the keys, announcing that the Queen wanted to see them. In a flashback, young Fiona climbed a rooftop with friends, who lamented their family's struggles due to rising bread prices and questioned when the war would end, but Fiona had no answers. Back at the palace, Fiona was scolded for mingling with commoners, with the Queen reminding her of her duty to end the war and the loss of her friends. In the present, Cecil warned Fiona that a war council meeting was commencing as the council panicked over the approaching enemy army. Harley, still handcuffed, questioned why they hadn't been released after retaking the fortress. The Queen explained that they hadn't fulfilled their agreement by destroying it. Rick learned that the kingdom had been at war with the Imperial Army for decades, exacerbated by the betrayal of Elves and Beastmen. Deadshot realized that the Beastmen were once subjects of the kingdom and suspected Ratcatcher of orchestrating their betrayal. With time running out, Harley proposed luring Ratcatcher to the front lines. Despite skepticism from Peacemaker about their numbers, Fiona backed the plan. They set up camp near the fortress, where augurs arrived, and Harley motivated them with promises of freedom if they fought valiantly. As night fell, the squad finalized their battle plan. Deadshot took to the roof as a sniper while Clayface finished the barriers. Tensions rose as Ratcatcher's army approached, mocking the kingdom's situation. However, Cecil reminded everyone of their duty. Ratcatcher sought revenge on Deadshot, believing the sniper's shot was a miss, but Deadshot's strategy was to destroy Ratcatcher's staff, which controlled the Beastmen. The barriers had drawn Ratcatcher into a vulnerable position, causing his own beasts to turn on him. Remembering the Joker's advice about inciting rivalries, Harley, celebrated as a messenger, reported the beasts no longer wished to fight, ensuring victory for the kingdom. With the squad claiming they had fulfilled their deal, they reset their bomb timers as the council celebrated, though the queen appeared troubled by the outcome. The squad discovered a floating gate in the sky, and with Deadshot anxious about the bombs in their necks, Rick reminded them to wait for the reset signal. Once they received it, Harley shifted the topic to food, but Rick emphasized their mission to build relationships with the kingdom and help end the war. After several battles, Deadshot ran out of bullets and felt ineffective, while Harley jokingly suggested using a frying pan instead. Rick mentioned their helicopter and supplies were still on the mountain's west side, so they proceeded to the fort. Upon arrival, they were welcomed by an augur who invited them to a feast, leading the squad to reconsider their views of the kingdom. The next day, as they prepared to leave, they encountered a dragon nesting with their helicopter. Bickering ensued until the dragon approached, causing chaos. King Shark was captured, and with only one bullet left, Deadshot missed a shot at the dragon's eye. As Harley reflected the dragon's fire with her frying pan, they eventually found a bazooka. With teamwork, they managed to defeat the dragon and welcomed its hatchling, which Harley named Arthur. Just then, Rick received a message that the advanced team had joined the enemy, and when they reached the fort, they found it had been destroyed. Harley was devastated when she witnessed an elf kill the augur leader and, fueled by anger, charged into battle with her friends. The elves tried to intervene, but Peacemaker cleverly used one as a shield against the spell. Suddenly, the enchantress appeared, threatening them with crystals and leading an army of elves commanded by the Thinker, who mocked the squad. Though Deadshot attempted to shoot the Thinker, his efforts were thwarted by a protective shield. Harley asked Deadshot if he wanted to avenge Ratcatcher, but he declined. The enchantress announced the fall of their fort, and Harley vowed revenge for the ogres. As Peacemaker and Deadshot created explosions, the Thinker's barrier blocked Harley's attack, and an elf blew her away while Clayface's efforts faltered. Despite King Shark's damage to the enchantress's barrier, he was thrown into a lake by her magic, where Killer Croc restrained him. Harley battled the elves while Deadshot provided cover. The Thinker activated crystals that forced Harley's companions to relive nightmares. After being knocked out, Harley had a vision of the Joker, who urged her to create a new world. Upon waking, Rick threatened the Thinker, who believed the squad was helpless. The Thinker decided to retreat, leaving the elves to collapse. In the castle dungeon, Cecil pondered their defeat while the council panicked, blaming the squad. Cecil argued they deserved a chance, but Fiona opposed the queen's desire to execute them. Meanwhile, the squad blamed Rick and Argus for their situation. Clayface suggested using Arthur to escape, but the baby dragon failed to breathe fire. Cecil warned them to keep their escape plan quiet, and when Deadshot instructed King Shark to open his mouth, Harley questioned his motivation, realizing he was encouraging King Shark to regrow his teeth. Fiona, inspired by her late friend, resolved to oppose her mother in support of the squad. The squad successfully escaped the castle, but alarms sounded, prompting Rick to hurry them to a carriage with their equipment. Peacemaker explained their plan was to eliminate the Thinker, who revealed he knew they had to visit the portal to reset their timers. As elves began casting a spell, a base emerged from the ground, and the Thinker smugly declared the squad would never outsmart him. In a flashback, Harley and the Joker plotted a bank robbery, eager for the thrill of the impossible. Now, the squad approached the Thinker's base, realizing he was blocking their bond reset. Clayface admired the base, while Deadshot warned of the impending explosion and the elves. As Clayface created a map, Deadshot expressed doubt about sneaking in. They spotted Katana with the Thinker, assuming she was in charge. Peacemaker suggested luring her away, but Harley craved revenge. They devised a plan to distract the Thinker by removing his cap, which linked the elves' minds. Recalling her heights with the Joker, Harley proposed threatening the key holder. Peacemaker planned for King Shark and Clayface to approach from behind, while Deadshot and Rick would wait in front to lure the elves away. King Shark dove into the water, and when Deadshot kicked Rick down a cliff to distract the elves, the plan was set in motion. Clayface disguised himself as the Thinker to meet Katana, while Peacemaker lured an enemy soldier. As King Shark captured an elf, Peacemaker tortured him for information about the telepathy device. The elves screamed, prompting a rescue order from the Thinker. As chaos erupted, Harley mocked the Thinker and charged him, but he used telekinesis to stop her. Remembering his past with Harley as a psychiatrist, he panicked. Harley blew him away, freezing the elves, but Rick was shocked to find the tortured elf. Peacemaker reminded Rick about the bomb timers as another explosion shook the base. Katana confronted the Thinker, declaring him useless. Harley saw Katana holding the Thinker's head in charge, but was disarmed. Clayface transformed into a sword to assist her, and together they fought Katana. After destroying Katana's weapon, Harley gained the upper hand but was interrupted when Deadshot shot at Katana. She escaped into the water with a monster while King Shark hesitated to pursue. With the enemy flag burning thanks to Arthur's fired breath, the kingdom celebrated their victory. The council informed the Queen of the squad's triumph over one of the Empire's generals, but despite Fiona and Cecil's satisfaction, the Queen ordered the knights to capture the team, leaving Fiona confused about her mother's orders. The officials debated whether the squad deserved punishment or reward, but the Queen dismissed them and instructed her servant, Theodore, to handle a task. Expecting a celebration for their supposed victory, the squad entered the throne room, only to be met with hostility. Theodore criticized them for escaping prison and causing chaos, dismissing their claim of defeating the Thinker and insulting them, especially King Shark. When he slapped Harley, King Shark reacted by eating Theodore. While the Queen appeared pleased, she quickly subdued King Shark with magic after Cecil attacked him, accusing the squad of provoking her. She ordered their execution but changed her mind upon seeing Fiona, deciding to execute only King Shark and exile the rest. Deadshot protested, but the squad was forced to watch King Shark being taken away. Fiona chased after them, apologizing.
Sorry.
But Harley dismissed her, calling her pathetic before storming off. Later, at a bar, Harley revealed she had stolen a gem from the castle. Despite Rick's attempts to keep her from drinking, she lamented their failure to build a relationship with the kingdom. A minstrel sang about their exploits, but Harley insisted they were exiled criminals, leading to a brawl among the squad as they drank. The next day, nursing hangovers, they set out to reset the bomb timers in their heads. Rick received a call from Amanda Waller, revealing he had a radio. She dismissed their mission and ordered them to return, but before they could react, Clayface's head exploded. Horrified, Rick learned that the mission was deemed too risky, and Waller planned to close the gate, intending to kill them all. Harley bitterly challenged her, leading to a negotiation for 24 hours to produce results. As they planned, Clayface reappeared, explaining he had survived by relocating his heart and brain within his body. Meanwhile, Fiona was trying to stop King Shark's execution, discovering that the Queen had been replaced. Cecil was reflecting on his journey as a knight when a commotion outside interrupted him. One of his men went to investigate, only to be stabbed and pushed down the stairs by the minister, who was now wearing a Thinker cap. Cecil accused him of treason, but the minister claimed he was acting on the Queen's orders to send his men to attack. Meanwhile, Fiona searched for her mother, only to confront the Queen, who revealed she had disposed of her. The Queen explained that to restore her powers and fuel the ongoing war, more deaths were necessary. When Fiona attempted to fight back, the Queen easily disarmed her, revealing that the sacred sword that had stripped her powers was now inside King Shark, making her invincible. Just as the Queen prepared to kill Fiona, Cecil burst in to confront her. The Queen transformed into the undead king, taunting Cecil about his deceased wife. In anger, Cecil unleashed a blinding light, allowing him to escape with Fiona. Barricaded in her room, Fiona cried for her mother while Cecil urged her to be strong, declaring her the kingdom's only hope. Inspired by Harley's spirit, Fiona took up Harley's bat and smashed the minister, freeing the soldiers. Cecil instructed her to rally the unturned soldiers as the undead king summoned skeletons across the city. As chaos ensued, the undead king unleashed a torrent of water on the castle, and Killer Croc prepared to attack Fiona. King Shark intervened, realizing Fiona wasn't who he thought. Just as she prepared to strike, the squad arrived, ready to split into two groups, one to save Fiona and another to defeat the undead. Harley volunteered to fight zombies and received a walkie-talkie from Rick before they split. While battling zombies, Harley and Deadshot faced Enchantress, who summoned a building to crush them, but they were unharmed thanks to Arthur's protection. As Arthur charged, Enchantress dodged his flames. Realizing the gem she stole was magical, Harley channeled its power into her gun, allowing her to break through Enchantress's barrier. Cecil saved Deadshot from a wave of skeletons, revealing his armor was from a legendary hero. Meanwhile, Harley shot down Enchantress and noticed fear in her eyes akin to that of Joker's hostages. Clayface and Rick discovered Enchantress's natural body inside a dragon skeleton, while Katana observed them from above. The team aimed to capture Enchantress, but Clayface was taken down by a dragon, allowing Rick to grab Enchantress's body, which crashed to the ground. Sensing pain, Enchantress flew up, and after Rick contacted her, she instructed him to bring her body to the plaza. Harley promised to return what they had if Enchantress helped. But Enchantress felt pain and accused Harley of meddling. As they struggled, Katana intervened, cutting the dragon in half to save them. Meanwhile, Peacemaker fought King Croc, who mocked King Shark. Realizing his monster was missing, Croc saw Peacemaker had taken it ashore. When Peacemaker threatened the monster, it eventually grabbed and ate Croc. Back at the castle, Cecil gave Deadshot his armor before passing out. Frustrated, Deadshot activated it, firing a massive energy blast. Harley battled Enchantress, but the Undead King aimed to eliminate her. After a fierce fight, Enchantress retrieved her body, seeking revenge. As the Undead King enhanced his skeletons, Deadshot provided armor to Peacemaker and King Shark. They confronted the Undead King, but chaos ensued, and Harley found Fiona, who revealed the Undead King could only be defeated with a holy sword. In a dramatic climax, Fiona called forth the sword, decapitating the Undead King, while Harley delivered the final blow. Victorious but hungry, the squad discovered that the Joker had taken control of the Empire, planning chaos instead of peace. Amanda ordered Rick to hunt him down, as the Joker mused over Harley's feelings for him.